Welcome back to the channel. In today's journey, we will explore the world of exotic farms, where millions of ostriches, expensive pigs, Australian sheep and horses are raised to produce products worth billions of dollars. Each animal has a separate breeding and exploitation process, requiring specialized knowledge, modern technology and meticulous attention to detail. This is not just a story about livestock, but also a story about a giant industry that is quietly operating behind the scenes to meet the world's needs. In the vast deserts of South Africa, Australia and some parts of Latin America, ostriches are raised as high-value commercial livestock. They can grow to over 2 meters tall and weigh over 150 kilograms. But the special thing is that almost every part of the ostrich's body is exploited: lean red meat like beef, leather used to make high-end handbags, feathers for fashion, and even ostrich fat is extracted to make skincare cosmetics. To successfully raise an ostrich, farmers must build a spacious, high-fenced cage because ostriches can run at speeds of over 70 kilometers per hour and jump very far. They do not eat grass like cows but need a special diet of bran, vegetables, corn kernels and minerals. An adult ostrich can produce up to 40 kilograms of high-quality lean meat, of which the fillet from the thigh is considered the filet mignon of the red meat world. Ostriches are also slaughtered differently. They are not hung upside down like chickens or pigs, but must be gently secured to avoid stress, because if the ostrich panics, the entire meat can change its structure and lose its commercial value. After slaughter, the ostrich skin is carefully separated and put through a series of processing machines, soaking, degreasing, dyeing and embossing. An ostrich skin can be sold for up to $400 to $600 if there are no defects. The fat is melted at low temperatures to extract pure oil, filtered many times and bottled into skincare products, burn treatment or used in high-end cosmetics. The meat will be cooled in modern cold storage and then divided into portions for export to Europe, Japan or 5-star restaurants in the US. Ostriches are not just a bird, but also an entire economic sector. From South Africa, we move to the plains and oak forests of Spain, where Iberico pigs are raised to produce the world's most expensive meat, jamón Iberico. Unlike conventional industrial pigs that are kept and fattened in closed cages, Iberico pigs live freely in the wild and eat acorns. This fattening process lasts 14 to 18 months. And acorns are an extremely rich source of natural fat. Thanks to this, Iberico lard has a low melting point, melts like butter in the mouth and creates a distinctive flavor. Each pig must have its own living space of at least 1 hectare, meaning 100 pigs require 100 hectares of oak forest. Diet control, weight monitoring, blood and genetic analysis of each pig are all done using modern technology. Once they reach their ideal weight of around 180 to 200 kilograms, the pigs are taken to a European standard slaughterhouse, where they are bled using traditional methods to ensure stress-free meat. The hind legs, where the jamón is made, are then salted and hung to dry in a temperature and humidity-controlled room for 3 to 5 years. Each leg can weigh up to 7 to 9 kilograms. And when finished, a high-quality jamón can sell for between $5,000 and $12,000 depending on the type. Experts also use bamboo sticks to test the aroma from inside the meat, if qualified. It is labeled and exported worldwide. Not everyone knows that sheep are a major economic source in many states in Australia, especially New South Wales, Victoria and Western Australia. Here, farms of hundreds of thousands of hectares are divided into climate zones. Where sheep roam freely on hay fields and bush. Merino sheep, the world's softest and thickest wool, are bred for both wool and meat. A mature sheep can produce up to 6 to 8 kilograms of wool per year, and lives for 6 to 8 years before being slaughtered. Shearing takes place twice a year, using special machines that do not damage the sheep's skin. The bundles of wool are sorted by softness, length and shine. Then baled and auctioned to high-end fashion houses from Italy, France and Japan. The price per kilogram of grade A merino wool can be up to 40 used 60. Meanwhile, the lamb meat is popular in the Middle East, North Africa and Asia. After enough shearing, the sheep will be brought to the fattening farm with grain, sunflower seeds, soybeans and vitamins. Australian abattoirs often apply closed technology, slaughtering by electricity, deboning. Packaging the meat and freezing within 3 hours of slaughter to ensure freshness. These trays of frozen lamb are then loaded into refrigerated containers and shipped to more than 100 countries each year, bringing Australia more than $3 billion in export revenue from sheep alone. And finally, a little-known secret, the huge horse breeding industry, which helps many farmers in the US, Kazakhstan, Argentina and Mongolia earn billions of dollars every year. Contrary to the popular belief that horses are only raised for riding or racing, in reality, millions of horses are raised for meat, milk and medicine. In Kazakhstan, dozens of specialized milking horse farms, called komis, operate year-round. Each mare gives 2 to 6 liters of milk per day, which is milked by hand and naturally fermented in wooden barrels. Horse milk is very nutritious and is used as a medicine, helping to increase resistance and aid digestion. In Argentina and Canada, heavier horse breeds such as Percheron and Belgian Draft are raised for meat, with a process similar to that of cows but requiring more space to move around to avoid stress. Red horse meat, low in fat and high in iron, is consumed heavily in Japan, France and Italy. A mature horse can produce more than 200 kilograms of meat. And the loin is often used as high-end sashimi in Japan, called bisashi. In addition, horse blood, bones and even placenta are extracted to make pharmaceuticals. In China, traditional medicine companies are purchasing a wide range of horse byproducts to process into tonics. With a scale of tens to hundreds of thousands of horses per farm, the horse breeding industry is not only limited to food or medicine. But has also expanded to tourism, sports and cosmetics production. The economic value generated from each horse can be 5 to 10 times that of a cow, causing many farmers to switch to horse breeding for higher profits. Behind the millions of animals raised each year are little-known stories, the sleepless nights of farmers, worries about weather, diseases and fluctuating market prices. In the ostrich industry, Just one unusually long cold spell can freeze thousands of chicks to death due to their weakened immune systems. Large farms invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to install automated heating systems and 24-hour surveillance cameras. Feed is measured in detail. Each vitamin has its own dosage and is mixed by machine to avoid errors. Even drinking water must be filtered through a nanomembrane to ensure cleanliness. Because just one contaminated water source can cause an outbreak of disease in the entire ostrich farm. For Iberico farms, the acorn season is a vital factor. If the dry weather causes few acorns to fall, the pigs will not be of good quality, the meat will lack fat, and the entire 5-year curing process will be considered a waste. Farmers must monitor every rainstorm, every wind, adjusting the amount of exercise and free-range time each day to ensure the pigs eat enough without expending too much energy. Some farms even attach chips to pigs' ears to track their movements and check their energy consumption. They joke that to make a $10,000 ham, you first need a team of engineers and data analysts. In the arid deserts of Australia, where sheep are raised in huge numbers, farmers not only have to fight harsh weather but also wild dogs, rats and eagles. Many lambs are hunted or go missing en masse if they don't have strong enough fences. Some farms have to install electric fences tens of kilometers long, use drones to patrol and attach GPS chips to each flock. Every day, data from thousands of animals is transmitted to a processing center, analyzing their health status, water intake, travel routes and even how often they chew grass. A sheep that chews less can be a sign of colic. Infection or eating toxic grass. Everything has to be controlled on horse farms, especially dairy farms. A mother-child relationship must be created between humans and horses to ensure that the mare produces milk regularly. Breeders must learn to caress, talk to, and get to know the horse every day. Just like a child caretaker, an uncomfortable horse will not stand still for milking. The milking process, which usually lasts several hours a day, is done with absolute gentleness. Farmers call it the art of milking horses, a skill that not everyone can learn. The milky buckets of milk are immediately transferred to the fermentation room, where experts stir, preserve and filter it to create kumis, a probiotic-rich fermented milk that the Cossacks consider a miracle drug. Each farming industry has its own risks and benefits. Ostrich farming can be very profitable because each part is expensive, but if not well controlled, the mortality rate can be up to 30%. Iberico pig farming requires huge areas of forest land and a long rearing time, sometimes up to 3 years to produce a finished product. But just one leg that sells for a high price is enough to compensate for the whole herd. Australian sheep farming, although having the advantage of scale, is also vulnerable to drought, bushfires, and wool prices depend on the world fashion industry. Even horse farming, a seemingly unpopular industry, can bring in billions of dollars if done right. but requires a lot of initial investment and specialized medical knowledge. What you see on your dinner table, in your supermarket or in your restaurant is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind it are millions of hours of work, calculation and sacrifice. Modern farmers are no longer just plowmen, they are bioengineered. Data analysts, technologists and animal psychologists. Every decision on how much to raise, when to sell, where to export, requires knowledge and courage. Their success contributes to providing millions of tons of food to the world every year, and creating huge economic sectors that many people do not expect. In today's world, where food is no longer simply a piece of meat on a plate, but a complex supply chain that stretches from pasture to oak forest to DNA analysis lab. These expensive livestock industries are not only surviving, they are booming. People are willing to spend hundreds of dollars just to eat a piece of ham on, thousands of dollars for an ostrich leather bag, or a few $100 to buy the softest merino wool for winter. And behind it all, it is the silent people on the farms, who have spent their lives understanding and raising these animals with all their heart and intelligence. And in this next part, let's take a closer look at each industry, from genetic intervention techniques, selective breeding, to international trade relationships that govern